Hi everyone, this is Miriam from Vancouver, Canada. And here with us we have Matteo Saradini, a friend of mine.
Hello.
So Matteo, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Who are you? What's your job? What you do in Vancouver?
Yes, my name is Matteo Saradini and I'm a filmmaker and I'm also like a colorist. So my main profession is to work in color grading, color correction of films, feature films, TV series, and in television and for theaters. I came here for a job in Vancouver, working on Christmas movies. That's been my profession so far here. But I've been working for the industry for a long time. So.
Okay, thank you. And so when the pandemic hit a few months ago, what changed you? What changed in the way you were living? And did you work remotely? Were you working remotely before?
I was when the pandemic hit. I just unfortunately I just had like a full-time contract for a company that and they left me home. So basically there was not much work left. It was safer to stay home according to them. So we stayed on furlough for a few months. Okay. But before then, my life was very busy. I was working on like different movies, like per day. I mean, I was working like at least many hours per day, like 12 hours, 14 hours. And when pandemic hit, everything stopped all of a sudden. So I had to like figure out a way to live my life. So I was living with my passions and everything. But definitely the life changed extensively. So my normal day would be work all the time. And the pandemic, the time would be no work all day long. So a lot of free time, basically.
So the other day we were talking and it came out that during the pandemic, he started or collaborated to web radio, right? And so that was very curious. And so I just wanted to know why and if this radio and how this radio was related to the beginning of the pandemic and so this like new life that you have to face. So, yeah.
Well, radio has been always my passion. So in the past too, before even movies, my passion was music and radio. So when I was younger, teenager, I was like I did recording on my cassettes, the radio shows with other friends that was what I was doing when I was younger. It was my passion. So it came back now, interestingly enough. And the reason why it came back because now it became much easier to create like web radios and also creating like content for the web, especially in this time where people were kind of like separated in their own like homes. So I thought it was going to be a great idea to just like keep them company with the radio. So that was my the radio station. So I put together a bunch of like favorite like types of music, and then with another partner we put together like a server based in Seattle, and then that's where we broadcast from. Basically, we broadcast from that server specifically, without getting into technical aspects. But it also became a what we call a radio vision. So essentially, you could listen to it, but you could also watch it on YouTube and Facebook with lives. And a bunch of other people joined me, like creating like programs and content. We have at least 3 people from Europe, because our radio is bilingual, so it's both in English
and English.
Italian, exactly. Italian mostly now, but the content's mostly Italian. But we're gonna work on getting like more interesting like programs pretty soon in English as well. But yeah, so it came out of like a necessity of like remain connected with other people, and now it's a bit bigger. It's a bit bigger. We have commercials. We have this. It's like a operation that doesn't take me too much time because it's fairly automated. But we have a few shows per week that we have to take care of. So.
And so like you invite people, right, to talk about their jobs and also like, yeah, that's very beautiful for me because you kind of entertain the audience, but also like showing some interesting realities around. You almost kind of get to know the people. It's just like a very friendly chat.
Yes, exactly. It's like a coffee. What we call it, what I always tell them is like a coffee, at a bar, and then just like a conversation. That's what it is. We don't want to make it too complicated. And most of the time I don't even prepare the questions because I try to read about the biography, but I want it to be very natural. Some people are really focused, okay, we want to prepare the questions, but I'm more like try to be spontaneous as much as I can. Thought it has to be spontaneous. It has to be like about the people, and it has to be about keeping company to people throughout with different kinds of like content.
Wow, that's very nice. I will definitely try to listen to it more often. But also, so now I'm getting to a more like a personal questions. Like, so how, if anything, this radio or this experience of doing a radio and you're still doing it is helping you to cope with this kind of time that can be very isolating, especially, you know, I also work in, you know, the same field as you, so that you always feel this kind of uncertainty with jobs and you know, that, and now even more. So how this helped you or is helping you?
Well, first of all, I mean, I live on my own, so I you know, I don't, sometimes it happens that you don't talk to anybody during the day, or like rarely talk to. Mostly, you have to be connected over the internet. So it helped me coping with this isolation, really, because I never feel isolated myself. That doesn't mean that this is the best way to live in general, and hopefully it's not going to be the future. But it's definitely like a way. We human beings always find a way to be social, even when they're not social. So I found that very interesting, that it was possible to be social in this opportunity too. It really helped me in that sense. Also helped other people that are part of the radio, because there was a friend of mine, for example, New Year's Eve, that is like, I believe he's separated, and he was alone. It's like, I don't know what to do. And it was like posting on Facebook, what do you guys do when you're on your own for New Year's Eve? And I say, hey, why don't we do like a live show, like on a radio? And we did that, and it was like 4 or 5 hours of live TV with like a ton of people that joined us, because they were all isolated. So it was like, ended up being like a very, very successful.
Yeah, everybody was at home, you know? So.
Exactly. Very successful situation. And also it was like, I mean, definitely was happy about like that, you know, the fact that I asked him to do so. So before then, he was going to be alone, for example. But because of the time difference, I was able to do it. So I was have like a New Year's Eve for Italy and New Year's Eve myself at night too. So that was very interesting. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I found it very inspiring, and like a new way to socialize, not in a kind of superficial way, as, you know, maybe we were, you know, using the media before, but I found that now it starts from a need of kind of really being and feeling together with somebody, and you can even keep company to, you know, to people that are maybe spending that, you know, Christmas Eve alone. Well, thank you so much. And so, what's the name of the radio?
Okay, it's an interesting name, because this radio the name already existed. Radio already existed back in the 70s in Italy, Milan. It's called Radio Channel 96, and I added a live at the end of the name. But this radio already existed, and I actually got in touch with people that were part of it. Before then, we asked them if we could use the name, and I said okay. And then we're gonna have some of them, these people, like on our live show pretty soon. But it was a completely different content what they were doing at that time. But they were basically more like they are more like I would say almost cultural content. I feel more like entertainment. But we wanted to pay homage to that radio. It was part of the phenomena in the 70s of the free radio in Italy, where basically a lot of radio would come out without permission and was fairly free. So we felt we had the same spirit. You know, we came out, we had permission to broadcast, obviously, but we felt we wanted to share the same like spirit somehow.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, you can find it. Actually, I can tell you where you can find it. It's called our website called www.piratefilmsmedia.com. And then you can find all the links to listen to our radio 24 hours a day.
Sounds great.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Matteo. And let's keep in touch.
Thank you, of course.
Bye everybody.